This is the Modern Vibes on Vibes Radio.
Good old days.
The good old days, man. Sucks, man. Anyway, speaking of good old days, today we want to talk about relationships and money.
Absolutely.
All right? Because, we have to keep growing as a community, as a society. And one thing is coming out very clearly. As one MVP hapa ameniambia, amesema love without money will die.
Love without money will
Yes,
will
love
die.
without finances. No romance with no finance.
Well, that's a thought that
You got to have a job.
you have to decide for yourself.
If you were.
You know what I mean?
Anyway, she says this. She says, love dies without money. Is that true? Is that statement true?
It has a bit of truth in it.
It has some truth, man. It has some
Yeah.
truth. And actually, according to stats, the number one cause of divorce, ladies and gentlemen, drum rolls, please. If you said love, you are wrong, because it is none other than money.
Yes.
Yep, money, finances.
No,
Hiyo nasema ati January tumesota,
Yes.
February tumesota, March tumesota. Neighbor amenunua gari, mwingine amenunua nyama, sisi bado tu hapa tunatuambia one day hadi saa ngapi?
one day forever.
Deuces. But no, for real though, money is a big issue in relationships. And today we want to talk about what's your relationship with money? Nataka ujiulize wewe kama an individual, what is your relationship with money? Are you the kind of person who's thought about your relationship? Pesa, wewe ukifikiria pesa, kasa hii nikikuuliza, what do you want money for?
You asking me? Myself, so much. I want to build and travel. I want to build my own home, travel the world, eat healthy, and access good healthcare.
So money is a means.
It's a means.
All right.
Yes.
Riley, what is money for you?
To me, money is love.
Money is missing.
Yeah, Wacha Sheila jo. Yeah. Mimi ningependa sana nikue.
Yo, pull up, man.
No, it's like the way he went like money is
missing.
Because that's what's constant.
Tell us. Money is love.
Yeah, ningependa sana nipate kitu ndo niweze ku travel.
Yeah.
Niweze ku expand my business.
But you say love though, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes you love better?
You just have to unafaa weke love kila mahali kwa biashara yako, si kwa msee peke yake.
Yeah. So you see money as the means to get everything that you want.
To love better.
Yeah, to love better. Yeah.
All right. We've got Sonali Shah. Sonali, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. It's lovely to be here.
You can hear the note we've started on. I want to
Yes.
ask you, what's your relationship with money? Like, what is money to you?
Oh gosh, money would give me everything. Money would give me, if I had all the money I wanted, of course, travel. Even a better relationship.
Wow.
And even
looking
build my
people.
business and do so much.
Yeah. But the truth is, when it comes to relationships, right? And even just a personal relationship, what kind of relationship do you have with money? Is money kuja na kuenda? You just see it. You're always escorting it to the next person. Or is it something that you've learned how to master? Would you say you've mastered money?
To me, no.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You still need a chance to, Nini.
I need to understand it more.
Kevin, have you mastered money?
I'm in the process.
Yeah, in the process of
Educating
mastering.
myself, yeah.
Educating yourself.
Yeah.
So, Nali, would you say you mastered cash?
I think I'm in the process as well. I mean, when I used to have a job, I actually think I had more fear about money because I kept having a paycheck.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, I depend on everything to do with that paycheck and then spend it. I know more is coming. Now that I run my own business, there are times I'm totally broke. There are times I have money, and I've kind of learned to trust the universe to bring it when I need it.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel my relationship with trusting that money will come when I need it has improved a bit.
All right. So I'm hearing around the table here, we're like, okay, we're still mastering the art of money. Now imagine you meet somebody and them, they are not even trying. Do you think that relationship can be successful?
Nah.
Nope.
Yeah?
Nope.
But we
For a bit,
For a bit.
temporarily,
Yeah.
and then, back to default. Because you see, the thing about money, and especially when you're having conversation about money with your partner, in most cases, it's a very uncomfortable one in the sense that the detonation, first of all, because people tend to become emotional, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? You think I'm a spendthrift? Spice my money.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a negative situation, man.
So we're going to
sometimes.
start that conversation there. 27 minutes past 8 a.m. The first question at Kaujiulize ni, what is your relationship with money? Wewe ukijiangalia hivi, have you figured out hii pesa inafaa kuwa? Is it a means to an end? Is it, there's people who they, you know, it's a collection. Have you ever seen people who never spend their money?
Yeah, they
Wanna
save
saving
and
it.
save
They just
for
save
retirement.
and save. They're just saving.
Yeah.
For what? We don't know.
That sucks, man.
Right? So we want to talk about that. And then we want to link it to relationships. Dating somebody who probably doesn't have has never even thought about their money connection. Right? You're hearing that at the end of the day, divorces in the end because money, finances. So how would you start that conversation with your partner? Like, hey, so do you like spending? You like spending my money. So do stick around for that. Let's have this conversation. Remember, phone lines are open on 0719-012-700. And I'm asking you, yes, wewe MVP, mindset yako ya do ni gani? Ganji, mindset yako ni gani? Are you the type of person who says, tukule raha, tomorrow will sort itself out? Are you the kind of person who says, I must set a goal. I must reach here. So I am nimaing myself. Are you the kind of person who's just I need to borrow money to go for this plan.
For the concert.
You know? Yeah, money opens doors for me. So there's different kinds of relationships. And I'm very excited to have our guest here in studio. Sonali, tell them who you are.
Hi everyone, I'm really happy to be here. So I'm Sonali and I'm known as Sonali Speaks on social media. I am a self-leadership, confidence and public speaking coach and speaker. And I always like to put different perspectives. I always like to talk about any topic that's affecting us, struggles, anything. Is really about you and the conversation with yourself, and are you being honest with yourself before you can have conversations with other people.
All right.
That's amazing.
So, of course, leo tunongeju relationships and money. And the first question I asked guys, what is your relationship with money? So now I remember when we were off air, you were talking about that the relationship with money must start from an individual perspective.
Absolutely. I think so many times we're, including myself, we're not honest with ourselves about the relationship with money and what our beliefs and our values, and we pick up so much from childhood, from our parents and our families, and we kind of repeat the patterns and we're not able to break it.
So if you've come from a background where you're a spendthrift, it's for spending, how do you then bring this into the relationship, right? Have you ever dated someone who's a spendthrift?
Oh, big time, yeah. But she was rich, so.
Oh, so she was spending her money.
Yeah, she was spending her money. But the funny thing is, she was. But what's interesting? That's a fine question.
Yeah.
I had a problem with it. Not at the, and yet it wasn't even my money. The thing is that I kept on putting myself in her position. I'm like, if that was my money, I would have invested it. Not knowing she was actually rich, that she has the right to spend it however she wants. And she ended up becoming uncomfortable with me because I had a scarcity mindset.
Yeah. Mindset.
Yes.
Scarcity mindset. I'm glad you mentioned that, because when we were talking about mindset, I remember you said that your mindset is, from here, I don't want the money to end. Scarcity.
Yeah.
Riley, have you ever dated someone mwenye, as in, either labda mindset yake ni very different na wewe when it comes to money?
Nope. Sijawahi.
So you munakonga tu on the same level?
Si uko tu level moja, like si wote hatuna do.
So you're both
Tunajaribu kutoka kwa hii comfort zone ama situation yenye tuko. Tutafanyaje?
Sonali, you can have two different people, and I can see people trying to call to topic makol zenu in a bit. You have a scenario where, I mean, you don't only date within your circles. You can meet somebody who's maybe in a different kind of circle. Like maybe they're wealthy and you're coming from scarcity, like what Kevin was discussing. How then do you have this conversation with your partner and say, hey, because this is always going to be a situation. One comes from a place where you've got scarcity, and then the other one is coming from a place like money never ends.
Totally. This actually can be a problem, and I think if you're not having the right relationship about money and honest conversations with yourself, then how can you actually bring it, with someone else? And usually we learn and grow from different kind of people, but we come with different mindsets. So if we're actually going to make something work, where somebody has a completely different mindset, like a poverty mindset, and somebody else, has a really rich mindset, then it's like, if you're going to make that relationship work, then you got to do the self-work to make it work, because you got to change. And the hardest thing to do is change yourself. It's so easy to tell people to change, but to change yourself, that's where you got to work.
So if you're getting into a relationship with this person who's in a different financial dynamic, so do you first focus on the love, and then we'll discuss the financial aspect of it later, or we start with the money? Where are you from?
I think you should be honest from get, because they, with the longer tuko pamoja, there will be expectations. So if, for example, you've been showing me, and this especially for mandems, I feel like men just choose not to be honest about the relationship they have with money. Right, so because everybody out here is showing that the relationship they have is spending on my I'm a provider, right? You don't have to provide even provider is like safety, and but like you want to provide even them zingas, the what, and you know very well, like your pocket haitoshe hapa. When I get into that relationship, because you've been showing me this from get, bruh, it only gets better.
But you understand the pressure now, yeah?
Yeah, because now this put the pressure on yourself.
Yeah, I think society as well, and culture. You see the whole, and I'll bring it in. I know you don't like this word, this angle, but the African angle, we've seen our parents or grandparents. He's the leader in the village. He's the one with the animals and a bit of money, and probably mom was like a housewife, right? So now you have a girl who you want to get into a relationship with this lady, and she's constantly trying to find out if you have the ability to provide, isn't it? So, but you don't want to talk about it, because naturally you're expecting her to think, I'm good enough as a man.
How am I going to find out if you're a provider if we don't have that conversation?
Just by being a masculine man, individual. But just by that already shows you that I have status in me. Let's not talk about money.
See where the problems are, guys. Call us out 0719012700. Money management. Wewe na beshte yako huyo mdemu mwenye unadate ama uchalimu unadate, mnakuanga na conversations za do ama tu mnajipata alafu nasema ai, mbona huwezi lipa hii bill? Unajua babe, M-Pesa yangu, my enemies are hitting on me. Just be honest. What I want to know from you, do you talk to your partner about ama ni relationship unaongea juu ya do ama you just come to find out that mumesota? Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, who are we speaking to?
You're speaking to Ghana from Nyeri.
Welcome.
Karibu sana.
Hello? Yeah, join the conversation.
Yeah. I'm saying about that.
Brother, we can't hear you.
Bro, we can't hear you. Next up, we've got good morning.
Morning to.
Hey, tunaongea na nani?
All
right, please zima radio yako. All right, you know what, guys? We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll take your calls. But the question we're asking is, your relationship and you're in a relationship, you're in a marriage. Have you had the conversation about money, or are you finding it very difficult even to rise up and tell this person, you know what? This is what.
Babylon must have forget blast away. Modern vibes, where you are the MVP.
Because, yeah, I know. He says, we look for money, find it, and it evaporates faster than the spirit. Always try my best to save half of what I earn daily for. I'm in the informal sector. It's not how much money you make, is how much you save. Very interesting. So you can see from his perspective, yenim say waku save. Now imagine if a guy like this meets someone who has never saved in their life. Do you think this relationship will survive?
Well, I think it's good. It'll survive if the person is actually willing to grow and actually see how that's a challenge and a struggle come for them to actually grow. And sometimes people are in relationships to grow. Sometimes people are in relationships for different reasons, to satisfy needs. So if they're actually wanting to grow together, then, that is actually a challenge for him. But he also has to be honest with himself. If he's so scared of losing money and he always wants to save, how's it going to work?
Yeah.
And so, what approach do you use, for example, now to
Before we get into that, let me just give you some stats. Apparently, 54% of couples that are successful, right? Couples, they talk about money regularly.
Oh, interesting.
Right? 29% who are just there, moving on with life. That's where you find yourself in problems. So if you want to be successful, it's a conversation that you need to keep having. You need to keep, adjusting. But let me hear what MVPs are saying. Patrick, good morning.
Morning.
Karibu sana tena sana.
Salamia wageni wetu hapo.
Wamesalimika.
Asante sana. Kwa hivyo mimi kuhusu mambo ya pesa, financial. Unajua kwanza mimi ni mtu wa biashara kidogo. Na biashara unajua inataka pesa. Ukikosa pesa kwa biashara hata Nyeri sijui dunia pasuku ujifiche. Shauri ya aibu unapata sana. Biashara ina stock imeisha, kitu ndio watu wanauliza, sasa unapata unauza hakuna. So inakuwa shame sana. Alafu mimi personally Patrick, mimi najifunza kwa watu. Na maanishaje? Kuna mtu unaweza pata ni mzee sana, anafanya kazi ya watchman na ni mzee. Sasa mimi wanafikiria, je, hii mzee saa hii anafanya kazi ya watchman. Je, na mimi nisipojipanga nitafanya hii kazi baadaye?
That's true.
Kwa hiyo najifunzanga, nasema hapana, I must invest, I must have asset to my life. I must have some like plot, nijenge plot ili nikiwa mzee sitasumbua watu, sitaenda kufanya kazi ila haifai, nikiwa napata rent na ninajitoa.
Na nikuulize Patrick, okay, so there hiyo inamaanisha wewe ushafikiria juu ya maisha yako na pesa, right?
Ndio.
Wewe I know you're married. Kama kuna kijana ana get dem, anafaa kufikiria mambo ya venye huyu dem anafikiria juu ya pesa.
Sasa unajua vijana wengi wanafikiria mambo ya kwenda happy after party, vipi ya kulewa nini. Kuna watu na reasoning yao. Kama kwenu mlikuwa matajiri, mtu afikirie kuinvest. Anajua kwao iko, lakini watu wenye tujajiinvestiwa na wazazi, kitu ya kwanza ni kufikiria future. Makosa ya wazazi yangu isikuje ipate watoto wangu. Mimi nafikiria kuinvest, nikuwe na asset. Ukisota unajisote mwenyewe, sio utegemee mtu akusaidie.
All right. Thank you so much, Patrick.
That's me, Patrick.
Patrick there sharing his thoughts. Very interesting. He says for him it's more about investment, right? So, and I asked him, is it something that young people should be thinking about, like when you're going to date someone, should you be looking and say, hey, when you mtu ana spend dough? I don't think we can, because he's coming from an investment perspective. Let's hear from Munchies. Good morning.
Good morning.
Changia conversation.
Yes, conversation iko aje hapo?
Oh man. Skiza lafu to call maze, bro. So I think that's not really right. So maybe
Shakim,
we should switch things up.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kevo.
Good morning, my brother.
Morning.
Get into the conversation.
Okay, I'm Shakim. Okay, the thing is, for me, I look at saving so much.
Saving.
I mean, yeah. But the problem is, naweza safeguard tuseme hata dhao 2 ama dhao 3 hivi.
Yes.
But katikati ya wiki maybe kitu inakuja, inabidi lazima hiyo pesa yote utoe utumie.
Like an emergency.
Yeah, so saving kidogo inakuwa ngumu.
So let me ask you, has that affected a relationship with your partner? Are you in a relationship, by the way?
Yeah.
Do you discuss money issues? Like, for example, sasa umetumia savings. Does it affect how you guys communicate?
Automatically, because mtu wangu hayuko job. So I'm the only provider in the house, you see?
Yeah. And Shakim, from that perspective, because we hear a lot of men saying, your money, your job is to relax, I'm supposed to provide, right? In a scenario where, say, for example, the savings are depleted, unakanga siku moja unasema, you know what, babe, you should also get a job.
Hata jana ndo namwambia sasa hii life imekuwa ngumu. We must we work na mimi work. Tunapata at least mimi nikisave. Hata kuikuja emergency unaweza tumia do yako, na ile major issues ama zile vitu unafaa kulipa, baby bills za hao nini na cater for that. Yeye ana buy food, unaona.
Yeah, but how did she take it, bro? How did she take it? Really mwambia anafaa get job.
Sasa ni ile ananiambia nitafutie job, unaona.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Shakim, and do have a great morning. Now, Shakim there brings a very interesting point. He says, first, the relationship he has with money is saving, right? But he's in a relationship with somebody who's in spending. They don't save.
They don't make money.
They don't. So this is bound to break a relationship. Why? Because the burden is on one person, right? And then it's the relationship they have with money. Mine is, I get money, I save it, I want a better life. right? And someone is like, me, I need to spend. Oh, life is tough out there. Okay, we'll try again tomorrow. That is bound to break a relationship, right? And he says having the conversation about money is also difficult because most men can't even open their mouth and say, babe, I think today you need to go and look for a job. Right? 13 minutes to 9 a.m. When we come back, we're coming to wrap this up. Remember, we're talking about money in relationships.
Positive vibrations on the morning vibes.
What an amazing Tuesday morning it is. It's cooler than yesterday. We're not complaining about that. Because jana maze ilikuwa 33 degrees. 33.
You hate the sun.
No, I don't hate the sun.
Not too much heat, I guess.
Yeah, too much of anything is terrible. You know, I just want balance. Like I want that Nairobi weather. You know Nairobi weather? It's like cool city under this. Oh yeah, it says under the sun.
Such a European weather.
I like it like that. All right, guys, we are almost at the end of this conversation, and there's so many things to learn. I think the first thing, and we're speaking with Sonali Shah. Welcome.
I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you came. And one of the big takeaways I've gotten is that ukianza relationship na mtu, first it starts with your own belief system, because money is big. Even in friendships, money is big, right? If you have that friend who keeps asking you for money, or maybe they ask you for money and then when they were asking, they were really urgent with it, and then now when it comes to paying, they're not even saying anything. Will that affect that relationship?
Absolutely.
It's the same thing with couples. It affects your relationship here. So at the end of the day, I think the one thing I've learned from you, Sonali, is that I should check myself first in my relationship. What is my relationship with money? I feel like the big issue here is for men.
Why?
Because the culture has taught us that mandem's job is to provide money.
Yeah, and when they're not able to, and they have to actually ask a woman to step in, that's where now men have to be able to say, I need help, and women need to be able to be flexible so that it's a team effort. It's not just about which roles we fit in. And I think sometimes what's happening today, culture's changing, we're all in a modern space, but we still inherit the beliefs and value systems of our family and what we grew up with, and then there's clashes. And, you know, we have to have dynamic systems where we are actually working on ourselves first, and then we can work in a relationship.
Have you found yourself in a relationship which, you know, money was an issue?
Totally. I think I was in a relationship where I was actually supporting someone who was much younger than me. And if I now look back, according to the questions you asked me earlier, you know, actually I think it did affect his self-esteem. And eventually it did break us apart, you know. If I was to think about how it could have been better, I think I could have given him space to be able to do more, and I was also trying to prove something. So I think money, ego, relationships, money is so important.
So does it mean low-income couples are bound to have less successful relationships?
No, you know, I actually think low-income couples are actually going to have far better relationships than people, one person who has more money, one who has less, or people who have a lot of money. Because money then becomes the dictatorship of the relationship when it doesn't. And it's like when you see people who don't have so much, how happy they are and so fulfilled, you know. And we actually, so it seems. But I know people. I give you an example. There's a Mama Boga who used to come for ages and ages, you know, where I was staying. And her son, she somehow educated her son overseas. He came back. He bought land for her, a lot of things. She didn't want to stop what she was doing because it fulfilled her and it made her happy even till the end. She was not going to stop selling her veggies. She couldn't just go home and have the land.
So the key thing here is, again, it boils down to what relationship uko nayo na pesa. And then number 2, culture. What have you tradition? Umefundishwa nini juu ya pesa? Umekonditioniwa aje? Umeambiwa wewe kazi yako, wake up, go and bring the money and find her in the house not providing. And I'm not saying that I can't knock that hustle. If that's the kind of dynamic unapenda, then be aware that that's the dynamic you are in. That there will be times that you won't have money. Will that affect who you are as an individual?
That's the question.
Right?
And also to add to that is people, it's so important to ask yourself, what is your relationship with money? People think to make money I have to work so hard. If you have an abundance mindset, money can flow to you. If you enjoy your work, it's not always about the money, but money will come. So sometimes we have this thing that we have to work so hard, it's bad. I don't want to work so hard. Or we have to do, we have to make sure we have money to look good in society. So I think it's really about who are we, and our self-image, because we're trying to look good to other people. How do we look to ourselves? What are we hiding?
And if your potential partner is in debt, major debt, do you still pursue that relationship?
Beg. Give me a chance to step out now.
And should you ask if they're in debt?
Well, I think having an honest conversation with yourself so you can have the courageous conversation that you need to have. You might love someone so much, but in the long run, if you can't have the honest conversations with the person, and they're not the easy conversations, as we heard from one of the callers, in the end, the relationship will suffer. So the foundations need to be built.
I guess we can end it there. Remember, we promised you that throughout the month of February, we will talk about things that can empower your relationships, and understanding that a lot of the fights that are happening in the homestead are stemming from money issues. Then maybe it's time for you to sit down with your partner and start having, it's not a one-off conversation. It is continuously.
Yes.
And I think it should start from relationships space. When you're a boyfriend and you're calling me to ask me for money to go and take your girl on a Valentine's.
Please, I'll pay you back.
I'm just like, I'm giving you this money, but I have judged you forever.
And you put me on a pedestal,
And I think also, a lot of times as human beings, we don't want to admit we have weaknesses. And I think when we can admit our weaknesses, we can have vulnerable, powerful, confident chats. The best leaders are the ones who can have vulnerable chats, because then you're able to actually talk about things and be in an insecure, unfamiliar space, but grow with your partner. And that's what money and talking about money does.
Kevin, can you imagine talking to your wife, right? And you have come from that perception. I'm an African man. My job is to provide. Stay at home. Take care of the kids. And then now you put a cooled layoff.
You
are where you had invested. Even them, they have cooled layoff. So now you are in Soto front and back. Today you have to go home and tell your wife, hey, baby, now I have nothing. Nothing. No prospects. Pension, nothing.
Difficult, but I have to.
You're going to tell her to go look for a job?
It's better for me to be honest,
but
man.
But now, what happened to you being a provider?
Now I have to think of myself as a partner, not just a provider.
Yes,
you have to grow.
Absolutely, I agree.
Do you know how many men are struggling with this thought right now?
Surprisingly, very not surprisingly.
Thank you so much, Sonali, for coming through, sharing with us, and to all MVPs. I hope today you're going to have that conversation with your partner about money, but first, have it with yourself.
This is the Modern Vibes on Vibes Radio.